So my parents, being the world travelers that they are, have a pretty extensive collection of African art. And their prized possessions were this dozen ostrich eggs that they got in Botswana. Well, in our house in Tunis, they took up a place of pride on the mantle in the living room, and it was well known that we were not supposed to play with them, which I did all the time, very carefully. I would take them out and pretend they were boobs, in my hands, and then I would put them back very carefully. Well, in Tunis, I had a good friend named Kareem, you know, and he would come over to the villa where we lived, and I told him, like, look, we're not supposed to play with these. We have to do it very carefully. So we did. We took them out, we played with them, you know, we did the boobs thing, we passed them back and forth, we had a great old time with them. And then we put them back, and we were about to leave them alone. Well, Kareem elbowed them off the shelf. And they hung, suspended in the air for what seemed like 10 minutes. If only I had been able to move quickly enough to catch all 5 of them before they hit the ground, my life would have gone very differently. But instead, they crashed to the ground and were broken. Well, Kareem was riven with guilt over this whole thing. He dropped to the floor. I thought he was having a seizure or something. He was terrified. He was keening high in his throat. And I'm like, look, don't worry about it. We'll go to my mother. I'll tell her I did it. So we go to my mom. You know, he starts to tell her, Mrs. Jennings, and I'm like, no, Mom, I broke the ostrich eggs. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I knocked them off the shelf. It was terrible. And now I expected my mother to fly into a rage because that was kind of a thing that she did. But instead, her face just fell and she said, oh, okay, I'm sure you didn't mean to. And it killed me because you're never supposed to make your mother look or sound like that. And I remember it very clearly to this day. And I'm sure Kareem remembers it too. Thank you.